Your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and a repeat offender. If my board would work. There it is.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Travis Robinson, Maxwell Agency. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful. Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I take the call. Reach out to me. Again, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. You know that already if you are a regular listener. Let's see. What are we celebrating today? According to Hoyle Day? I don't even know what the heck that means, but it's on the list there, so I'm not going to talk about that one. Lemon Juice Day. I saw National Lemon Juice Day, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what is lemon juice? I mean, you know, lemonade, I could get it. I understand that lemonade, we might drink lemonade. Lemon juice, what are we doing with lemon juice? I think I notice it's in cleaning supplies. Don't generally eat that. I do notice the bride, she likes her little lemon juice in her martinis. So maybe that's what they're referring to when we talk about National Lemon Juice Day. I'm not sure. So I do know that today is also National Chop Suey Day. Okay, now Josh has a chop suey picture there that I don't see all the noodles and stuff that I see on the other ones, or maybe it's Sprouts or something. I don't know. So the question of the day, if you're eating chop suey, are you going with a fork or are you going with chopsticks? Put it in the chat. As always, when I share with you, when you put that stuff in the chat, and we see it. In fact, if you're listening to us live right now, put in the chat where you're listening from. Just throw that in there. Do you eat chop suey with a fork or chopsticks is our question of the day. If you're listening to us live or if you're listening to us on any one of our syndicated radio stations, yell at the radio. I hear those. You should have heard some of the comments I heard yesterday when people were yelling at their radio. Just throwing that out there. National Chop Suey Day is today. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rebound day, up 386 points. S&P 500 up 48. NASDAQ up 211. Oil up $1.25 a barrel. Do we want to even look at that one?
Ow!
You know, while the president is out there taking a nap once again, oil prices are going higher. We've got all kinds of saber rattling in the Middle East. We saw the no response from the president or from the vice president about the anniversary of them leaving behind, or I don't want to, the issues in Afghanistan. But let's take a look and see how all this is affecting you and me. California gas prices, $4.63 a gallon. Hawaii, $4.65. and Washington $4.17. Other than that, no one else is paying $4 a gallon or more anywhere in the United States. So maybe we can get the president off the beach. I like the beach, but he was in California on vacation. Now he's in Delaware on vacation. Is this what we're going to see for the next, probably I guess in December, November, president won't be on the beach in Delaware. I doubt that, but he may be. $3.36 a gallon of gasoline is the national average right now. A lot of news going on. Student loans, the Supreme Court, they did not again accept the administration's, bogus plan. But it's what's more important than thinking about these plans that the administration keeps coming out with that keeps getting rejected in the United States Supreme Court. Well, here's the issue. When the administration says something, there are people that believe them. I would say that there's a lot of us that really don't believe it, but there are those people that believe what the administration has to say.
You know better than that.
Yeah, you know better than that. And that causes problems. What kind of problems? So people stop making their student loan payments. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the broadcast, some of the ramifications there, because the administration says, we're going to forgive the student loans. Then the Kamala Harris says, we're going to give a $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers. Now, if you're a first-time home buyer and you already are confused by the home buying process, the mortgage process, you're scrambling every dollar you possibly can to get ahead to try and buy a house. And then you hear what's now arguably the leading presidential candidate saying, we're going to give a $25,000 first-time homebuyer tax credit. She does not have the authority to do it. She can propose that. But if you're a nervous Nelly and a not really understanding how the whole process works, that's going to take that first-time home buyer and they're going to say, something, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to go out and buy that house, even though I can afford it. I'm going to wait for a while. Well, what does that do to you? It causes more problems because what are you waiting for? Inflation to increase the price of a house? Now, we've talked about this before. The home prices appreciate in Orange County, California, about 5.3% per year if you look at the average for the last 63 years. And that's what we go by as we look at long-term averages because that's predictable. If it happened over the last 63 years, the likelihood is it could happen again. So what the administration or these different issues that come up, they really do cause a problem because people believe them. Student loans, stop paying them. You're going to get these big bills. You're going to have to deal with it. Now, if you continue on this same guide or this same path and say, well, something, the government's been doing this. They haven't been forcing us to pay these student loans, these student debts. Well, guess what? The problem becomes if at the end of September, when I'll tell you in a minute, you have a problem here, it could affect the ability to even buy a house. And we'll talk to you and tell you exactly why that is and give you some solutions. September 30th might be the date that a lot of college students with student loans lose their ability to buy a house and a first-time home. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, got a great broadcast. We are going to talk, I love it because we're going to talk high school football with Travis Robinson. We're going to talk about group health benefits. Are we heading into a balanced real estate market? Are you ready for the student loan repayment restart? I'll give you some ideas there and more. Reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, We offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. NMLS 217037.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got every product you can imagine, maybe even more than you've ever imagined. Think about that, Geneva Financial. And they've got that Home Select loan as well. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Nationwide, 35%. They don't tell us points paid, points received, APR. They give us the rates that they saw locks going through at or averaged yesterday. If you want to know what you do with that, well, that's the number you put into your mortgage calculator to find out what your principal and interest payment is. And if you want us to show you how you can knock 2% off of that, that's what we do for our private clients. Get that mortgage calculator, ronismylender.com, ronismylender.com. Rates yesterday, almost all of them down, but there was one stickler. Conventional 30-year fixed down 6.303. Jumbo 30-year fixed up 6.714. FHA 30-year fixed down 6.14. VA 30-year fixed down 5.682. USDA 30-year fixed 6.078. If you want our thoughts about the market, rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. We send that out every morning as early as the data allows. It's free to you, rsrmarketminute.com. Let's see what's going on in the markets today. That's what we're here to chat about. The S&P 500 is now up 52 points. The 10-year Treasury, that's up 3 basis points. 3.87 is the yield or the rate on that right now. Mortgage-backed security bond, the bond price is down. That means the rate is up on the mortgage bonds, up 5 basis points. Why? What's driving all of this? Well, we've got a lot of data coming through starting right away. So we're looking right now, pending home sales. This used to be the biggest number that we had in the home sales market because pending home sales are those homes that someone's lived in before as opposed to new home sales. Measures signed contracts, existing homes fell 5.5% in July, which was weaker than estimates of a flat reading on a year-over-year basis. Now, again, I share this with you maybe ad nauseum. If you are listening to CNBC, if you are listening to Diana Olick, whenever she starts talking about real estate, just scratch your head and realize that the next time she has accurate information, complete information, it will also be the first time. She gives a lot of negative, bad information time and time again. What do I mean by that? Well, she's talking about pending home sales falling 5.5% in spite of interest rates dropping. Well, let me ask you something, Ms. Olick. Do you think that somebody goes and they say, I just heard Ron Siegel Radio and I heard that interest rates have dropped. I'm going to go and contract for a new house today. No, it takes some time to filter through. That's what Ms. Olick doesn't understand, so she doesn't report it. Pending home sales are signed contracts on existing homes. You say, I see that the rates are going down. I hear that the Federal Reserve is going to reduce rates in September, even though they doesn't directly affect the mortgage rates. So I'm going to wait. That doesn't mean the real estate market is bad. That doesn't mean people don't want to buy houses. That just means that there is a lag time from the time rates start dropping or a perception of dropped rates until it gets a contract signed in the market. If you want to know what's happening on the market all the time, anytime, in your zip code, rsrlinks.com/market report. Because Miss Olick only she gives the bum information on a national level. rsrlinks.com/market report comes out every week from our friends over at Altos Research. You can even get us sign on there and we'll send you the report every week. And you can put your zip code in there or zip codes you're thinking about moving to. And it'll tell you how quickly the homes are selling in the market. Are the prices going up or down? How many homes are available for sale? How many condos are available for sale? All that information and an outlook is in there all the time from our friends at Altos Research. Get it for free, rsrlinks.com/market report, rsrlinks.com/market report. Unbelievable. What else? The second quarter GDP reading, second reading. Yes, they give us a reading. It's always wrong. They revise it once, twice. Then they get us a final. Second reading on Q2 GDP showed that the U.S. economy grew by 3%, stronger than the 2.8% expected, and previous quarter reading of 1.4%. The economy grew faster than initially thought, and amid strong consumer spending. Within the GDP report, there's also quarterly reading on PCE, the personal consumption expenditure prices, ahead of tomorrow's monthly reading, which is more real time and important. The headline reading fell from 2.6 to 2.4. The core reading fell from 2.9 to 2.8, which is also an improvement. It was better than the 2.9 expectations. We also got the apartment list rent report for August, showed that new rents fell 0.1%. Things are starting to decelerate as they normally do during this time of year, as it was 0.4% in June and higher previous to that. Year over year, new rents are down 0.7% year over year. Based on seasonal trends, we should continue to see rental prices continue to decelerate on a month-over-month basis. Just remember, this is new rents. Existing rents will go up because landlords know that the renter doesn't want to go through the hassle of moving. So they can raise rents a little bit and get away with it. And we saw a little bit of a decline on the initial jobless claims. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Today we're thrilled to have special guest with us, seasoned coach and health insurance expert, who's going to help us understand the significant rise in health insurance renewals and how to make the most of employee benefits in these changing times. Let's chat. Travis Robinson is with us. Welcome. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning. How are we doing today?
Doing good. Glad to have you with us. So, health insurance. We know that auto insurance is going up because that's the other than housing, shelter. That's right. All that's increasing in the inflation world right now. But health insurance, that's going up too.
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty big trend. We're seeing on average around, I would say 12 to 17% increases for businesses in California. So I would say a pretty big increase. Yeah.
Wow. Those are some big numbers.
Yeah.
That's just California. It's not happening nationwide.
Well, I mean, most of our businesses are based in California. We have a lot of businesses that are here that have employees in other states, and those rates are a little bit different, but majority of our businesses are in California. So yeah, I would say that's strictly California.
Okay. So is there any solutions to it? Any options to it, or you just have to suck it up?
No, there's we provide, custom quotes. So if people are with one carrier, say Blue Shield, Kaiser, majority of the time we can move them to other carriers and not have such a big increase. Or if you can use smaller networks, right? If we get access to what doctors are using, what facilities they need to go to, we can put them in a reduced network, make sure that their doctors aren't affected in that, and then save them quite a bit of money.
So I'm gonna go consumer advocate, full bore consumer advocate on you, Travis.
Sure.
When you're going out there and chatting with businesses, about these changes, you're not dealing with the Apple computer or Salesforce or NVIDIA. That's not really your client, is it?
No, we deal with mid-size. So employees, I mean, the smallest client I have is 2 employees. The largest client I have is 1,000. I would say our niche, or where we can really make a difference, is 20 employees to 100 employees. That's where we can really help a business owner, an HR professional, a CFO, because we have access. If you're my client, you have access to HR professionals. We'll do your employee handbooks. We will provide a lot of compliance issues, sexual harassment training, workplace violence protection plans. We do that all complimentary for our clients.
So, but here's the question I have for you, and I only speak from experience. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I was part of the ownership team of a company.
Okay.
And we did offer health insurance way back when, and I'm sure laws have changed since then. But when our people sat down with our health insurance provider, we kind of said, okay, here's who the family uses from the way of doctors.
Mm-hmm.
This is the area that we live in. We want to get coverage based on this information. We really didn't survey all of our employees to make sure that they were in coverage. Is that the norm?
Not for most people, but for us, we like to send out actual surveys to the employees and get their feedback, right? So that gives feedback to the employer. It lets them know what their employees want, what they're looking for, what facilities that they utilize. So we really like to gather that information. So we're making not only the business owner happy, but all the employees happy as well.
That's a great solution, because it wasn't something that was offered to us when we had our company.
Right.
And so we didn't even do those surveys. We looked and said, okay, this is where we live. This is the hospital we like to go to. This is the doctors. It's probably, between 8 or 10 family members. These are the pediatrician, the OBs, the GPs, because of my excessive size, the orthopedists. Make sure they're on there, and hopefully that solves every other problem. So it's good to hear that you're doing it a little more blanketed, but then maybe the technology helps with that a little now too.
Yeah, 100%. Everything we do is paperless. We can still use paper. We don't really like to do it, but some businesses prefer it. But our systems are paperless. It speeds up the process. It eliminates mistakes. We get groups enrolled and approved in about 48 hours, and when everything's done, so it speeds up everything.
Well, and the when you're speeding things up, when you're getting rid of the mistakes, you're getting better information. It might help with costs too, because if you have to hire an extra 10 people to service a company, those people have to be paid for. There's no free lunches, so somehow they're getting paid for.
Right.
We're going to continue our conversation with Travis Robinson when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Are we heading into a balanced real estate market? Are you ready for student loan repayment restart? Here, we're going to tell you what you need to know. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, and if you miss any part of our broadcast. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions. as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Are we heading into a balanced market, real estate market? If you've been keeping an eye on the housing market over the past couple of years, you know sellers have had the upper hand. But is that going to shift now that inventory is growing? Here's a breakdown of what you need to know. A balanced market is generally defined as a market with about a 5 to 7 month supply of homes available for sale. In this type of market, neither buyers nor sellers have a clear advantage. Prices tend to stabilize, and there's a healthier number of homes to choose from. And after many years, when sellers have had the leverage, a more balanced market would be a welcome sight for people looking to move. The question is that really where the market is headed? After starting the year with 3 months supply of homes nationally, inventory has increased to 4 months. Oh, wow, all the way up to 4 months. Remember, if you go to the report I offered you earlier, rsrlinks.com/market report, it'll actually tell you the exact number of days on market the houses are there, give you some good information there. So we have a graph, if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv or any of the socials, uses data from the National Association of Realtors, NAR, to give you an idea of where inventory has been in the past and where it is at today. So we're looking at the buyer's market, greater than 7 months. Seller's market is less than 5 months. For now, it's still a seller's market territory. It's just not as frenzied of a seller's market as it's been over the past few years. As Mark Fleming, chief economist at First American, says, quote, "The faster housing supply increases, the more affordability improves, and the strength of a seller's market wanes," unquote. What this means for you and your move? Here's how this shift impacts you and the market conditions you'll face when you move. Lawrence Yoon, chief economist at NAR, explains, homes are sitting on the market a bit longer and sellers are receiving fewer offers. More buyers are insisting on home inspections and appraisals, and inventory is definitely rising on a national basis, unquote. Next graph uses the latest data again from NAR and Realtor.com to help show examples of these changes, shifts in the housing market today. Homes are still on the market. Homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer, from 46 days to 50 days. Sellers are receiving fewer offers, 3 down to 2.7. You only need one good one. Fewer buyers are waiving inspections, 26%, I think that says, down to 20%. My eyes are getting old. Homes are still on the market longer since more homes are on the market. They're not selling quite as fast. For buyers, this means you have more time to find the right home. For sellers, it's important to price your house right if you want to sell it. If you don't, buyers might choose better priced options. Sellers are receiving fewer offers. As a seller, you might need to be more flexible and willing to compromise on price or terms to close the deal. For buyers, you could start to face less intense competition since you have more options to choose from. Fewer buyers are waiving inspections. As a buyer, you have more negotiating power now, and that's why fewer buyers are waiving inspections. For sellers, this means you may need to be ready to negotiate and address repair requests to keep the sale moving forward. How a real estate agent can help? This is just the national picture, but the type of market you're in is going to vary a lot based on how much inventory is available. So lean on a local real estate agent for insight into how your area stacks up. Whether you're buying or selling, understanding how the market is changing gives you a big advantage. Your agent has the latest data and local insight, so you know exactly what's happening and how to navigate it. Bottom line, the real estate market is always changing, and it's important to stay informed. Whether you're buying or selling, understanding this shift toward a balanced market can help. If you have any questions or need expert advice, don't hesitate to give me a call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, I do know real estate professionals in any area that we talk to. Just give me a call again, 800-306-1990. Continue our conversation. Travis Robinson is with us. Maxwell Agency. They are taking care of the businesses health insurance that they're providing to the consumer, but more. We always like to put that "but more" in there because The part they get paid for is for the business insurance, for the health insurance, the value add. It's not free. Don't let anybody tell you it's free. It's a value add that they provide. There's nobody sitting there doing HR service and saying, hey, Travis, we like you. We're going to come do it for you for free. Right? They're paying for that as a value add to you to give you an incentive to use them over everybody else that's not as good as they are.
Correct.
So talk about some of those services, Travis.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of them right now. Compliance is a big one. We make sure our clients are in compliance with ACA, with sexual harassment training, with workplace violence protection plan, which just came out in July. So if you have around 10 employees, there's a list of issues that will put you in danger of being out of compliance. But if you have 10 or more employees in one spot, you got to have the workplace violence protection plans and the training in place. We'll give access to HR professionals. We'll do their employee handbooks every year. We'll update those, and those should be updated. And every single employee needs to sign that, review it, and sign it. And we do all that digitally. So there's a lot of things that we bring to the table to help business owners, because they're probably not up to date on a lot of that. I think 85% of businesses are out of compliance in some aspect. So we can help.
Yeah, so just think about that. I every once in a while a thought comes into my head, which is a bit scary, and you wonder and you say, okay, what would it cost a business to go out and hire an HR manager? So I went to this super secret website, google.com, and I put in there, what is the salary of an HR manager? As of May of last year, median salary for a human resource manager in the U.S. means half of them got paid more, half got paid less. I'm kind of shocked by the number. I wouldn't have guessed it, but Travis, I'm sure knows it because he's in the industry. $136,000 a year. Under 10% of them, only under 10% make $81,000. The top 25% earn over $182,000.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah. So think about that. 136,000
Right.
is the median number. Now, for that service, Travis, what is Maxwell agency charge?
Nothing.
So if I own the business and I've got 20 employees and I'm saving $81,000, that's going right to my bottom line.
Right. Well, I mean, we come in and we make sure that they're in compliance with all that stuff. HR, they'll have access to HR professionals where they can call up and say, hey, we need to terminate this employee. What's the best way to do that? And those HR professionals will walk them through the steps to make sure that they're not doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. So, and it's not me. They're not calling me directly. We pay a service. They're actual HR professionals. So it helps the business owners out quite a bit.
Because, well, I mentioned that I was a business owner. So I basically, if you're out of compliance, if you're running a business, you're pretty busy.
Yeah.
I always say that I only work half day. That's 12 hours. Well, sometimes I work more than that. But the bottom line is I don't have the time or desire to study all these different laws. I mean, you just said that a new one came out just recently, right, Travis?
Yeah, workplace violence protection plan and training. So you have to have a plan in place, and then you also have to have all of your employees go through training. So that came out July of this year. So most people are out of compliance on that. I would say without a doubt, unless you're one of my clients, then we're working on it, and it's a process. But if you get the process started and you get them through, get it going, then there's going to be a little leeway there. But if you haven't started the process, I would give me a call today.
And you made a comment a little bit earlier, Travis, about making sure you're in compliance. The Affordable Care Act non-compliance fine up to $500,000.
Yeah, I'm doing a presentation in one of my groups next week, and I'm trying to put together information, and I'm trying to make it a simple sheet to show all the compliant, like all the fines, and I can't do it. It's going to be a 10-page document if I try to put it there. There's so many fines and there's so much stuff that you have to be in compliance with. It's overwhelming.
Look at this. ACA $28.80 or $43.20 per employee.
Mhm.
Americans with Disabilities Act, up to $55,000 fine. Repeat offenders, $110,000. Fair Labor Standards Act, $1,000 fine per violation. I mean, it goes on and on. And so when you're talking to Travis and his team, that's some big potential savings for people.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And as long as and people don't know what they don't know, right? So if you don't know that you need these things, but we have a checklist. Once you become my client, and you could sign a BOR today, and effective. It's called a broker of record. So a BOR.
Oh, okay.
It won't
I'm a
change
simple guy, Travis. I don't understand all this stuff.
Sorry. Yeah. A broker of record. That doesn't change your medical benefits. It doesn't change anything. The only thing that changes is that you're now my client, and we have a timeline, and I'll send it to you. It's like day one, this is what happens. We start a process, and then we make sure that you're in compliance. So after a couple of weeks of being my client, we're start the process, updating your employee handbooks, making sure you're in compliance with ACA, make sure that we get the sexual harassment training done, make sure that we get the workplace violence protection plan training done. So we've got a pretty good timeline, and we're very efficient with it to make sure that there's no fines you're going to be paying.
That's a massive benefit. Now, you've been on the show many times, and we never really dug into this one part of it because we talk about health insurance, and I guess you're probably starting to get kind of busy, and because I think we're going into open enrollment. It's usually right at the end of the year sometime.
Yeah, so majority of businesses in California, because of the Obamacare, they were able to move their open enrollments to the fourth quarter. So 90% of businesses in Orange County renew coming up right now. And, the fact that we can provide custom quotes for them, save them money with that, get them in compliance. So, yeah, right now is a very busy time for us.
And then, we can always go and chat a little bit about one of our diversions. You're also getting into football season.
Yep. We started football season. I coach at St. John Bosco. It's I guess a pretty well-known program around here, but just got back from Florida. We had a big game in Florida this week, Friday night. Tomorrow we play a team from Texas. They're coming out here. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's fun.
Are you going to take their team to Disneyland while you're here?
I don't know what they're doing, to be honest with you. I think I heard a rumor that they're en route. I think they're practicing at our facilities this afternoon. I believe they're taking a bus, though. It's like a 11 or 16-hour bus ride. I'm not sure. But they're coming in. We'll play them tomorrow night. Good team, good program from Texas. We appreciate them coming over here and playing us. Definitely.
I could just imagine knowing my days of being a high school student. Could you imagine putting that a bunch of football players on a bus for 11 hours?
We just did it when we went to Florida, right? We traveled with about 100. In staff, everyone's about 100, but about 70 football players. So I'm in charge of around 11 of them. So I've got a teenage boy who goes to Bray and plays baseball, but you can only imagine traveling with 11 teenagers, the stuff that goes on.
I'm sure it's a good time, but so being a football coach, you guys have a little extra opportunity for discipline if they get out of line, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, we can hold some stuff over their head for sure.
Fun stuff. We're going to continue our conversation with Travis Robinson when we come back. Are you ready for the student loan repayment restart? We'll tell you what you need to know and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Are you ready for the student loan repayment restart? Here's what you need to know. If you have student loans, listen up. The pause on federal student loan repayments ends on September 30th. This means millions of borrowers will need to start repaying their loans again. Not being prepared could lead to serious financial consequences. Let's dive into what this means for you and how you can protect your financial future. What happens when repayment resumes after a long pause during the pandemic? Student loan servicers will resume reporting missed payments to credit bureaus. If you miss more than 6 payments, your loan is at risk of going into default, and trust us, that's not a place you want to be. Defaulting on a student loan can severely impact your credit score and even prevent you from qualifying for certain types of loans in the future, like FHA loans. Additionally, dealing with a default can be a complex and stressful process. Why the system is still stacked against you? Many borrowers hoped for reforms to the student loan default system during the pandemic, but unfortunately, the process remains the same. This means that falling behind on payments can quickly lead to debt collectors knocking on your door and potential wage garnishments. Getting out of default is not easy. It may require loan consolidation or a lengthy loan rehabilitation process. Both options come with their own challenges, making it crucial to avoid default in the first place. Steps you can take right now to protect yourself. The good news, you can take action today to prevent this from happening. Here are some practical steps. 1, know your replacement plan options. Contact your student loan servicer to understand which repayment plan is best for you. Options like income-driven plans, IDR, can help you keep your payments manageable based on your income. Set up automatic payments if you can. Set up auto pay to ensure you never miss a payment. Many servicers offer a small interest rate discount for enrolling in auto payments. Number 3, communicate early and often. If you're struggling to make payments, reach out to your loan servicer immediately. They can guide you through your options, help you avoid falling into default. Number 4, stay organized. Keep track of all communications with your loan servicer and maintain a calendar of payment due dates. Being proactive and organized can save you a lot of stress and money in the long run. Why does this matter to you and your financial future? Missing student loan payments doesn't just affect your loan balance. It can have a ripple effect on your entire financial life. A damaged credit score can make it harder to buy a home, get a car loan, or even qualify for some jobs. Protecting your credit should be a top priority. By staying on top of your student loan payments and exploring all the repayment options available to you, you can safeguard your financial health and ensure you are on the right path to achieving your goals. Don't let student loans hold you back. Whether you're just beginning your repayment journey or a seasoned borrower, now is the time to take control of your student loans. By being proactive and understanding your options, you can avoid the pitfalls of default and build a brighter future. Remember, every step you take toward managing your debt is a step toward financial freedom. Final thought, make a plan. Stick to it. If you have questions and need more personalized advice, don't hesitate to reach out to us and get some guidance. A little guidance can make a big difference. Let's work together to make sure student loans are just a chapter in your financial story, not the whole book. That is the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. And don't forget, that's the program that can get you interest, or one of them, effective interest rate, just a program I just did for somebody, 1.76% effective interest rate. Continue our conversation. Travis Robinson is with us, Maxwell Agency, St. John Bosco football coach, and a good guy. He's helping get information out to people. Travis, let's chat a little bit because I know you're doing some good stuff with the nonprofits that you work with as well. Talk about that program that you guys have at Maxwell.
Yeah, so we started a program where we give back to, it started with high schools and youth sports programs because of my kids and because of my coaching background. I see what it takes to run a program, and then being a father that was in travel baseball. And, I'm writing checks now to these programs, and it's like, man, it takes a lot of money to pay everybody and get everything done. So Maxwell, we've kind of created a program where we give back to nonprofits, and it's reoccurring monthly donations. So if we become your broker and you have a nonprofit that you want to donate back to, we'll do that every single month on your behalf. So it's gained a lot of traction, and we've given a lot of money back to nonprofits, which is great. It's a win-win.
So when you talk about giving money back to the nonprofits, that's you guys don't go and do all the research on the nonprofit. If it's an eligible 501c3, that's what you're looking for?
Yeah, and we don't determine what nonprofit. If you're a business owner and you have a kid that goes to a local high school and you want to donate back to that high school, if you're my client, you just say, hey, we want to give, every month back to this local high school, let's say St. John Bosco, or let's say Brea Olinda baseball. Then my company writes a check. All they have to be is a 501c3 nonprofit. And then we will donate every single month. As long as you're my client and as long as you want to donate back to that nonprofit, we'll continue to do that. If you want us to kind of break that up and give it to 2 different nonprofits, we'll do that as well.
I can just see the headlines now. St. John Bosco football coach donating to modern day football.
Well, that's fine. If
you're just helping the community, I love it.
If it's the modern day needs money too, I'm sure. Every program, every nonprofit would benefit from getting donations. So
I'm just busting your chops here,
yeah.
Travis, because something. The bottom line is, and I've shared this before with you off air, and I might have shared it on air as well. Even if you're when my son was playing football at Orange Lutheran,
yeah,
the coach there said that we obviously want to win, but our real scoreboard is what kind of men we develop 30 years from now. What's that look like? What those guys are doing 30 years from now? Are they good fathers, good husbands, good community members, good whatever?
Yeah.
And that's really the job that you guys have. I mean, who wins a high school football game is important for about 30 seconds in the scheme of life.
Right. Yeah. No, one of the guys I coached at Brea Olinda, I coached freshman football for 8 years. And one of the kids I coached is one of the guys that helped me get the job at St. John Bosco. So you build relationships, they're lifelong, you spend a lot of time with these kids. During the football season, I'll spend more time with my linebackers than I will with my own kids. That's just because we have film, we have weight room, we're on the field, right? I mean, we went to Florida. I was with my guys all the time in Florida. So you develop relationships with these guys, and they're young men. You see them kind of get freshmen. They're boys. They kind of grow up, and you see them, you really grow into young men. So there's a lot of benefits to coaching for sure.
You're developing a good thing. I mean, I still listen to my son, and he's my oldest is 35 now, and he still quotes things that he heard from his high school football coach.
Mm-hmm.
So, you always have to be cognizant of that. But we only got about a minute left or so, Travis. Let's should talk a little bit more about what you really do and how you're able to do this. It's all through the insurance company, right?
Yeah, it's through Maxwell Agency. We're a small family-owned. We've got about 10 employees, but we really compete against some of the larger firms. The things that we bring to the table, what we're able to do. But all my clients have my personal cell phone. They reach out to me, and then my support staff helps me make sure that everything's done properly. So employee benefits, group health insurance. If you have 2 to 1,000 employees, we can definitely help you save time, money, be in compliance. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we can do for them.
What would it cost if a company wanted to just come to you and get a checkup?
Yeah. No, there's no cost. I mean, all these things that we provide for free are primarily for our clients. But if they come to me and say, hey, I've got 50 employees, I'm out of compliance with workplace violence protection plan, can you help me? So the answer would be yes, but with the expectation that you're going to let me quote the benefits, or you're going to let me get into the bid and talk about being your broker.
There you go. Travis Robinson, Maxwell Agency. If you want to get in touch with him, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
And older by the minute. My boss just pushed me